Um, so as I said, our culture is very good at anticipation, but I think we need to get better at dwelling. You all know what dopamine is? Have you heard of it? Dopamine. It's one of the neurotransmitters that exists in our brain. In this past year, I've learned a lot about brain chemistry and the science of my own alcoholism and addiction in general. Most people know that dope is a shortened form of dopamine, and it usually is used in reference to euphoria-inducing drugs or chemicals. But this causes the misconception that dopamine is the main chemical of pleasure. More accurately, serotonin gives us the pleasure, but dopamine is actually the chemical of motivational salience. Motivational salience regulates the intensity of behaviors that help you reach your goal. In other words, dopamine hijacks your nervous system and makes you feel good when you're going after that good thing. But unfortunately, once we reach the goal, the pleasure wears off, our tolerance increases, and then we need more of that good thing next time. An example of motivational salience is when my rabbit is expecting her breakfast. She's bouncing off the walls of her cage, as she anticipates the food, and then she violently attacks the dish of pellets that I set down right in front of her. But only minutes later, it's completely gone, gobbled up. Motivational salience. She's quite literally all doped up, waiting for her food. I won't say which Star Wars film it was, but I can tell you the pleasure that I felt waiting in that dark theater for the movie to start was far greater than the disappointed feeling I had after leaving the theater. Motivational salience. I was all doped up to watch that movie. A similar thing happens during a piece of music when it builds, and then finally the drop happens, or the chorus. Music itself gets you all doped up. And there are actual studies that show the pleasure spike in the brains of cigarette smokers and gamblers is far greater when they are unwrapping the carton and preparing or putting coins into the slot machine. They've become numb to the smoke and the spinning cherries, and most of the pleasure comes from the anticipating. For an alcoholic, just driving past the liquor store or hearing the phrase, "Can I get you a beer?" This starts the hijacking process. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, cool. Father, this is supposed to be a homily, not a psychology lecture. Yes, I know. I'm telling you this because I want you all to know that I think we are all doped up. We have exactly 1 week left until Christmas Eve, and we are all doped up. Our dopamine levels are continuing to rise and influence our behaviors as we get ready for Christmas. I see all the kids at school shivering with anticipation. Just seeing the presents under the tree in your house turns us into Pavlov's dogs, excited for what could be in there. Amazon capitalizes this every single year because the countdown timer on your order page, it tells you exactly how many hours and seconds you have to push buy before it's too late to arrive for Christmas Day. But what happens after it's all over? The wrapping paper is thrown away, and the Christmas trees are out on the curb with the trash. The stores have already moved on to Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. And then we have 2 or 3 more months of cold and snow and darkness. No more dopamine. No more anticipation. What happens then? Emmanuel. Emmanuel. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. The dopamine and the anticipation, very rightly so, tell us God will be with us, but his name means God is with us. Jesus' coming at Christmas is not just a fireworks display that disappears almost as soon as it starts. That light and that warmth, that he gives us will live and dwell in our hearts and in our minds, and if we act on it, in our world and our community as well. I think our culture is very, very good at anticipation, but we need to get better at dwelling. Dwelling looks like making every sip of that hot chocolate last as you sit and watch a Hallmark movie. Dwelling looks like buying warm clothes and food for the poor every month of the year, not just during the season of giving. Dwelling looks like leaving your decorations up and wishing people Merry Christmas all the way to January 9th when we celebrate his baptism. That's how long the official Christmas season lasts. The Christmas season will end, toys will break, batteries will die, the bottle will eventually be empty, just like the empty promises of the world. But there is something that makes our doped up anticipation worth it, and that is the promise of God with us, Jesus Christ, Emmanuel. Yes, the anticipation for his birth is here, but it doesn't leave or go away once he arrives. Our culture is very good at anticipation, but Jesus helps us get better at dwelling. He's very good at both. He dwells in that tabernacle, excited and anticipating the next time that we will meet him in prayer or at Mass. So by all means, please get excited, anticipate and expect and wait. That's half the fun. But the rest of the fun is the long-lasting change that I believe that the Lord wants to work in your heart and in the world all the days out of the year, even after the Christmas season has ended. Amen.